Jason stands beneath an oak in the sacred grove of Airs, holding the Golden Fleece above his head. It glows like fire. Behind him lies a dragon that never sleeps. Around him is the kingdom whose king ordered him to complete an impossible task. This is the image that made Jason a hero. But look one step to the side. Medea is there. She has drugged the dragon. She gave Jason the ointment that protected him from fire. She told him how to defeat an army that grew from the earth. And before the voyage is over, she will abandon her father, her home, and perhaps even spill her brother's blood so Jason can escape. Jason returned with the trophy. Medea created the path to it. So what exactly did Jason earn? The fleece? The title of hero? Or merely the best seat in a victory built by everyone around him? Jason did not begin as a thief looking for treasure. In the surviving tradition, he came to Iolcus to confront King Peleus, the man who held the throne connected to Jason's family. Peleus had been warned to fear a man wearing one sandal. Jason arrived with one foot bare after losing the other sandal while crossing a river. Peleus did not attack him openly. Instead, he sent him to Colchis for the Golden Fleece, a royal way of saying, "Please die somewhere very far away." Jason's first achievement was not slaying a monster. It was persuading heroes to board the Argo. Heracles, Orpheus, Castor, Polydeuces, and many others joined, though ancient lists disagree about exactly who sailed. Leadership is not doing every job yourself. A captain's skill can be choosing people who can do what he cannot. That matters, because the voyage immediately reveals Jason's strange kind of heroism. He is rarely the strongest man in the room. Sometimes he is not even the person with the plan. Yet the group keeps moving under his name. At Lemnos, the expedition nearly dissolves into comfort. On the island of the Doliones, a tragic night battle kills their former host, King Cyzicus, because neither side recognizes the other in darkness. Later, Hylas disappears while fetching water, and Heracles falls behind, searching for him. Here the sources make Jason look less like an invincible warrior, and more like a commander trapped between powerful personalities and bad luck. The Argo cannot wait forever. Leaving Heracles may sound absurd, like a football team sailing away without its strongest player. But the voyage must continue. Jason also negotiates where others fight. He listens to the blind prophet Phineus. He relies on the sons of Boreas to chase away the Harpies. He follows instructions to pass the clashing rocks. None of this is useless. A leader who listens can save more lives than one who simply swings the biggest sword. And yet a pattern is forming. Jason advances because someone else supplies the strength, prophecy, music, wings, or courage required at exactly the right moment. Then Colchis turns that pattern into the entire story. King VIII of Colchis does not simply hand over the fleece. He demands that Jason yoke. Fire-breathing bulls, plow a field, sow dragon's teeth, and survive the armed men who rise from the ground. The challenge is designed to kill him. Refusing means failure. Accepting means walking into a furnace. Jason accepts. That decision deserves some credit. Courage is still courage, even when rescue later arrives. But courage without a workable plan is only a more impressive way to die. The gods intervene. In Apollonius, Hera and Athena enlist Aphrodite, whose son Eros strikes Medea with overwhelming desire for Jason. Medea is not simply a volunteer who reads a job advertisement and joins the crew. Divine pressure, fear, desire, and choice are tangled together. Jason meets her and promises what she most needs to hear: gratitude, fame in Greece, and marriage. Whether we call that love, persuasion, or survival cannot be settled from a single scene. What is clear is that Jason knows her help is the difference between victory and death. First, Medea gives Jason an ointment made from a magical plant. It will protect his body from fire and iron for one day. She tells him to smear it on himself, his spear, and his shield. Second, she explains how to defeat the Earthborn warriors. Jason must throw a stone among them. Unable to identify the attacker, they will turn on one another. Third, When Aeetes still refuses to surrender the prize, Medea leads Jason to the grove and subdues the dragon guarding the fleece. Jason performs the physical acts. He yokes the bulls, he sows the teeth, he throws the stone, he lifts the fleece. Without nerve, timing, and strength, Medea's instructions would remain instructions. But reverse the test. Could Jason win without Medea? The ancient narratives strongly suggest no. Could Medea win without Jason? She might not seek the fleece for herself, but she possesses the knowledge that makes every impossible barrier suddenly possible. This is the central imbalance. Jason's visible actions become famous. Medea's invisible preparation makes them survivable. The man in the arena receives the image. The woman who rewrites the rules receives exile. Once the fleece is taken, the story stops feeling like a clean, heroic quest. Medea flees with the Argonauts. Her father pursues them. In some traditions, her brother Absyrtus is killed during the escape. The details differ sharply. Apollonius has Jason participate in an ambush after Medea lures Absyrtus into a meeting. Apollodorus preserves the more brutal version, in which Medea kills a younger brother and scatters his pieces to delay their father. We should not flatten those versions into one fact. What survives is a tradition obsessed with the cost of Jason's escape. And with Medea crossing a boundary from helper to killer, Jason does not emerge untouched. In Apollonius, he is not merely a passenger while Medea commits violence. He agrees to the trap. This complicates the popular image of innocent Jason and monstrous Medea. Their success is already a partnership of promises, magic, calculation, and blood. Still, Jason is also responsible for an entire ship. Aeetes threatens pursuit. If caught, the Argonauts may die and Medea may be returned to the father she betrayed. The safe moral option has vanished. But who made it vanish? Aeetes? Medea? Jason? The gods? Or the quest itself? Jason finally returns with the fleece, yet the throne does not settle neatly into his hands. Peleus has destroyed members of Jason's family in some accounts. Medea then engineers Peleus's death by convincing his daughters that they can rejuvenate him if they cut him apart and boil him. She proves the trick on a ram, but withholds the magic from the king. Jason benefits. Again. But benefit is not the same as authorship. Pseudo-Apollodorus says Medea contrived the punishment and Jason handed the kingdom to Peleus's son Acastus before departing. That does not look like a man grabbing the throne over a warm corpse. It may suggest discomfort, political defeat, or simply the logic of this version. We cannot read his mind. What we can see is repetition. Jason's enemies fall through Medea's intelligence and violence. Jason's name remains attached to the achievement. And Medea absorbs more of the moral stain each time. If heroism means personal combat, Jason's claim is weak beside Heracles. If it means magical mastery, Medea is plainly superior. If it means devising the winning plan, Jason is often not the author. But ancient heroism was not a modern individual sport. The Argo is a collective machine. Orpheus uses music. Argus builds the ship. Athena guides its construction. The Boreads use flight. Medea uses knowledge. Jason's role is to keep incompatible talents pointed toward one destination. He also accepts danger in person. He faces the bulls rather than ordering a subordinate into the field. He fulfills Medea's plan under pressure. He repeatedly negotiates, asks for aid, and adapts. These are real leadership skills, even if they look less dramatic than tearing a lion apart. The darker question is not whether Jason contributed. He did. It is whether he acknowledged what his victory cost other people. Apollonius gives us a Jason who can persuade brilliantly when he needs help. Later tradition gives us a man capable of treating the woman who saved him as replaceable. That future does not erase his courage in Colchis, but it changes the way his promises sound. Jason did not steal every ounce of glory. He assembled the expedition, endured the voyage, entered the field, and carried out the dangerous tasks. A useless leader would not have reached Colchis, much less returned. But the decisive barriers were removed by others, above all Medea. The gods pushed her emotions. Her knowledge neutralized the bulls, the earthborn army, and the dragon. Her betrayal of her family made escape possible. And Jason's promise of marriage helped secure that loyalty. So perhaps Jason's true gift was never strength. It was making extraordinary people invest in his mission. That can be leadership. It can also become exploitation when the rewards, recognition, and safety are not shared. The fleece glows in Jason's hands, but the shadow behind it belongs to Medea. If you had to divide the credit for winning it, between Jason, Medea, the Argonauts, and the gods, what percentage would each receive? And at what point does a leader who depends on everyone else stop being a hero and become simply the person whose name survives?